I can't remember if the curbs were first or if this was first.
For Speed Freaks?
Yeah.
I think the Kickflip Wallride was the first flip.
See, that's insane that they put that first. We're here at the wall where I did the first kickflip wall ride. It's like the quickest clip too.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember, oh, what was that? Rewind. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of what would go on today. I always had a skateboard, probably since the time I was like 8 years old. There was always a skateboard around, like a Veriflex, Makaha, you know, just like, it was just a toy. But I didn't really have my own skateboard until I was probably about 12. I got a hand-me-down Dwayne Peters board from my neighbor down the street who had a quarter pipe in his front yard. So that's when I like started skating, was like trying tricks on the quarter pipe. And then not too long after that, another friend built like a 6 foot tall half pipe. And once he built that half pipe, I was over there like every day. And then I went and got my first actual skateboard from a skate shop, which was a Santa Cruz Ramp Street concave. That's like the one photo I have before I ever was sponsored. That was like no local sponsors, that was just me being a skater. Look at that board, just raggedy. I was competitive, and so I was always trying to go to like local contests. Back then they had a series called Castle, California Amateur Skateboard League. I started doing pretty good in some of the Castle contests in the unsponsored category. And then there was a local guy here named Bob Goodsby who had started like a local skate company. He sponsored me and he started taking us around to some of the contests. I can't say enough good things about how much Bob helped me in the beginning. Through just time, had met some people that were associated with Santa Cruz from them coming to our vert ramp and then going to some of the skate camps. I got on Santa Cruz, like I said, it was first flow of product. Here's some product, we're gonna give you 2 boards a month, a couple sets of wheels, trucks, whatever. And then flow turned into like, oh, well now we're gonna pay for you to go to a couple contests. Back then, everything was contest-based. Videos existed, obviously, but the videos were just for the big pros. Everything was based around contest results. August 1987 is when I got sponsored by Santa Cruz. I remember the first boards they gave me were a Spidey and a mini Jeff Grosso. I started doing amateur contest series for the NSA. Back then they had it broken down by regions, Northern California, Southern California, Midwest, Western Regional, and then at the end of the year they would have a national championship. I ended up getting second place at the nationals. I was like, I want to try the stuff I do every day. I'm going to try hard stuff during my run. If I make it, I make it. If I fall, I fall. I remember after that contest, I told Gavin O'Brien, who was a team manager at the time, I said, I could beat all these guys. That was December. In January, Bob and Gavin, they called me up. They said, all right, you're going to turn pro for Santa Cruz. No board. That's how they did it back then. You sort of had to earn your board. Your board was going to be earned through usually contest placings. April 1989 was this Chicago contest. And I remember I told all my friends, I'm like, I'm gonna win this contest. I'm just gonna do everything that I do out here. I did win the contest. I made 2 kickflip wall rides, both the only ones I tried. And I remember one in the finals run, I did a kickflip wall ride and it was sort of a bank to wall. They had like a little ledge there that was like 10 feet long and I was doing like half cab 5-0, 180 out. People were like, what is this? This is all stuff I was just doing normal. Win a pro contest, I don't even have a board out. Literally a couple months before that, Santa Cruz had signed Eric Dressen. Eric had just won the NSA Street World title. Santa Cruz signs him. They were expecting big things from Eric at that contest. I think Eric got 4th, but me winning was not on the radar. He just freaking won a pro contest as a nobody, you know? So they literally had to scramble to get shape, get a board, and that's when it all just like snowballed. I win the contest like April '89. So I filmed my Speed Freaks part in June 1989.
Hi, my name's Knox. I live by Santa Cruz, California.
On a blank board. I was writing my own shape. I designed my shape, but it was blank. That was all filmed in the same freaking day. Literally, like Tony Roberts showed up at my house 9 a.m. and the first place we went was the curbs. That was literally a normal skate day for me. The hours, the amount of time, and everything we did. The editing is a little like different back then. There was no process of like, oh, we're gonna start off, build up, and end with a banger. That didn't exist back then. It was just sort of, like I said, the editing was done according to like, well, we got this tape right here, let's start editing. Oh, that looks cool, that's cool. Could even be spot to spot, like nothing made any sense sometimes, you know? I was in a phase of trying to flip into everything. Flip into a wall ride, flip into a pivot stall, nose pick, something like that. And then the going into sliding stuff came along sort of at the same time. Later on in that video where I do like a fakey nose grind, you know, that stuff never was done before. Like sliding, it was all very stationary. There's a sequence where I did like 20 tricks in a row without stopping. Just bap, 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 bap. And he's just filming the whole time. It was just like rapid fire trick, trick, trick. But that's sort of how I skated, you know? It's like, I didn't skate any different than I would on a normal day. That was sort of what was cool about all the stuff back then. It was all very organic. Like, hey, let's go to where you skate every day and just do what you do on a daily basis. He's actually the first guy who started like following along on board next to you, like doing follow footage, you know? I had no idea that video part filmed 37 years ago would still be relevant today. January '89. Are you working on any new tricks right now? And my response is, I'm working on kickflip wall rides. We're here at Redwood High School, and we're here at the wall where I did the first kickflip wall ride in the Speed Freaks video. It's just a normal wall. This is the actual wall from the video. This isn't the wall I learned them on. There's nothing special about it. It's just a regular wall. I guess maybe because it's concrete, like a lot of the walls are like plaster or stucco. This is just concrete, so it didn't wear out, and it always had good paint so your wheels didn't slip off. I don't even know if I'd done one here on this wall before. I think this is just, we were filming here and it just happened. I looked at the raw footage and I think I counted like 16 tries with like 3 makes in a row.
Okay, now a clean one.
I did 2 makes in a row that were like pretty clean, but one was a little bit of hand down, but I didn't like it. And then I did one where there was a little heel drag, and then I did a perfect one. That's one they used in the video.
I hope you done that.
If you look out like this, like it obviously slopes down more there, but by the time you get here, like I said, it's just a slight slope up. To me, it made it easier coming down off the trick than it did going up. Not that you had much nose to hit back then, but it would still hit. January 1989. Skateboarding was still vert focused. Street is coming along, but the companies weren't all in on it. Me being like primarily focused street skater on progression, I was sort of the first one they had. It was me and Eric, the token street dudes, and then 6 or 7 vert guys. And this is like '89 turning into 1990. The tides had started to turn towards street. What they call the big 3, Santa Cruz, POW, and Vision. Skateboarding pie was only divided by 3 big companies, and so if you had the opportunity to be sponsored by one of those companies, you made pretty good money, you know? Good royalties, good travel, good incentives. I remember at one point having a $3,000 or $4,000 a month guarantee before royalties, and then with royalties making like $8,000 to $10,000 a month. This is like 1990, 91, you know? Especially when the slick bottoms came out. This board, when it came out, this was the first one they said that ever went over 10,000 in royalties for any board. Like this was like the biggest seller they'd ever had. All your money was made off skateboard companies. There was no Taco Bells, no Mountain Dews, no energy drinks, none of that. I made money from Santa Cruz, Independent, and Vans. Those were my 3 sponsors at the time. And then contest earnings. That's like a dream. Came in right at the right time, but 89, 90, 91 were really good years. 92 hits.
Rolling. God damn.
Skateboarding changed in general. Board shapes changed, wheel sizes changed, pant sizes changed. The spot we went to earlier today, the 7 stair, in the Speed Freaks video in 1989, I like just do a regular ollie down the 7 stair, then I do a board slide and a no comply tail, right? By the time the video comes out in 92, I'm doing a varial heel flip down the same set of stairs, like 3 years later. So it went from like basic ollie to varial heel flip on a popsicle. That's pretty crazy progression. 1989, boards with no noses, 64 millimeter wheels. I always rode 55s, I would find freestyle wheels. Everything's one direction. 3 years later to popsicle stick, 48 millimeter wheels, and varial heel flip down the same set of stairs you just ollied down 3 years prior. Skateboarding really changed. The economy changed. A lot of stuff just in 92 just went south. I felt like I was just starting to peak. I had just bought a house, you know? For me, it was like, dang, man, I feel like I haven't even reached my peak yet, and then everything's sort of starting to die. Yeah, to go from this board selling, making like 10 grand a month in 1991 to 93, 94 of like, hey man, we gotta put your guarantee down to $700, and there was no royalties because boards weren't selling. A lot of guys just couldn't handle it. They didn't have a backup plan. I continued to ride for Santa Cruz for another couple of years till like 1994. 94, 95, 96 for skateboarding was just, it was hard. That's when I went back to college. You know, I'm like, oh, I gotta have something to fall back on. Yeah, definitely going from like the peak in the late 80s to the early 90s to seeing how it fell off in the mid 90s, man, just wild. I would say that the big turning point for street skating was the 1986 Oceanside Pier Contest. Skateboarding took a big turn. That's where Knox first jumped on the handrail from the stage. Gons was there trying to ollie up and over everything. Dressin, Tommy Guerrero. So I went down there and watched that contest. Like I said, I wasn't on Santa Cruz yet. And I remember watching that contest and just thinking, okay, this is what street skating is now. I was really watching what like Knox and Gons were doing, just really, really pushing like the envelope in like raw street skating. At the same time, I loved Christian Asoy and Chris Miller, Alan Losey. There were just so many good vert skaters at the time. Ben Schroeder came on the scene and he just charged hard. He was just pushing the limits on lip tricks. He did big airs. He had freaking gnarliest eggplants. I saw the stuff he was doing on the lip and I'm like, man, I can do that on the curbs or on a ledge or something, you know? So I had influences from both vert guys and street guys. Now we're at the curb spot that was in the Speed Freaks video. I lived like 2 streets behind this shopping center. I woke up every morning, I'd probably be in this shopping center dating by like 10 o'clock. I said, this was the spot. I did like the feeble grinds, fakie nose pick grind, and like the blunt kickflip. That was all done on this section here. It was easy to lock in because the backside was vertical. Again, we had this entire section waxed up, the entire like 100 feet of this. This one is about twice the height of the other curb. Like I said, this is like borderline getting the ledge territory almost, but this is where the lip slide Smith grinds, frontside hurricanes. Somebody posted one the other day, they're like, look at the 360 hurricane that he does here. Like some of those tricks happen so quick, you didn't really see them just because of the way the editing was done. A lot of the tricks I was doing, I was just trying to replicate what I saw on vert. It was sort of funny because then I saw that stuff on vert, I learned it on curbs, and then I learned it on vert afterwards. So like the second Speed Wheels video, Risk It, I filmed some stuff here, and then I have a vert part in that video. There's a sick lip slide Smith grind I do on the vert ramp. They should have chained that together with one that I did on the curb. My mom started me and my brother in judo at age 4. So that was the first sport I ever did. We were like active judo competitors for a long time. Jiu-Jitsu was my natural progression from judo. I sort of liked the rule set better and transitioned out of judo competitions into Jiu-Jitsu competitions. And to me, there's no void to be filled. Like I was still skating, I was still having fun. It's just, I like to compete. I like to stay active. It prevents burnout, so like it provides a good balance. I can go skate to take my mind off jiu-jitsu. I can go do jiu-jitsu to take my mind off skating. You know? One of the last judo tournaments I did, there was a really big vert ramp in that town, but I'm like, I want to go skate that vert ramp. And my mom's like, well, I'll take you to the vert ramp if you win the tournament. I got what's called the Outstanding Judoka of the tournament. I also got first place in my age and weight division. This was just from a few years ago. I achieved like the #1 ranking in Jiu-Jitsu for what's called the Master 4 group, which was my age group at the time. So that was out of like over 1,000 athletes. I still skate as much as I can. I got my spots I go to here. I love skateboarding. But now a lot of my time is, like I said, I've had my own Jiu-Jitsu school since 2008. So going on 18 years, we just kept growing and growing to where we're in this big facility now. I teach and train Jiu-Jitsu every day and still compete a lot in Jiu-Jitsu, but really focusing a lot on our youth programs and developing teen and young adult Jiu-Jitsu players into like world level Jiu-Jitsu athletes. And we've had a lot of success. We have a lot of guys that have gone on to be big name black belts in the Jiu-Jitsu sport community. It provides me the opportunity to still skateboard, and I've been lucky and blessed enough to be able to do 2 things I love for a living. It teaches you, like I said, perseverance, discipline. You have to keep trying. Even if you're the most talented person in the world, you don't make stuff first try. And it applies directly into Jiu-Jitsu too. It's trained the same way. You gotta practice techniques to make them smooth. It's just we have another person fighting us, but skateboarding is fighting us as well. It's like come full circle. You know, you start skateboarding because it's fun. That's the only reason to skateboard. And then if you go down the career path of being a pro, all of a sudden there's all this other stress that gets involved. And everyone always wants something from you and this and that, you know? You like reach almost like a burnout. And at a certain point you're like, can I just step away or whatever, you know? Like, and so for me, it's come full circle to where now I just get to skateboard for fun, you know? Santa Cruz, thankfully, just still gives me stuff, but it's no pressure. Like all those worries go away when you just start having fun again. Yeah. I still make sure I can always ollie up 3 stairs.
Okay.
If I can't ollie up 3 stairs, then I might as well quit. I don't care. I want to be like 65 and able to ollie up 3 stairs.